Imagine a mother pounding on your inn door in the dead of night.
Oh, man. Yeah, just absolute panic.
Right. She's like terrified. Her child is missing in a town full of strangers.
It's a literal nightmare.
It really is. And now imagine that the reason her child is missing, the reason she is out in the freezing rain, is actually because of a simple, beautiful act of kindness you performed just hours earlier.
Wow. Yeah, it's hard.
Today on this deep dive, we are looking at how a hand-carved wooden toy essentially triggered a descent into hell.
It is the anatomy of a perfect trap. I mean, when you look closely at the architecture of what happened,
Yeah.
the house didn't hunt the party down. It used their own empathy as the bait.
Welcome back to the table and welcome to this deep dive. Today, our mission is to recap your very first session, Festival of Shadows and Secrets.
Played on August 18th, right?
Exactly. We are looking at your arrival in Daggerford during High Harvest Tide. You meaning Balasar, Lucy, Duroc, Remi, and Beowolfe arrived at dusk.
In heavy rain.
Heady rain, yeah. Into a town packed with festival goers and this really chilling local rumor.
The rumor being that a house appears on the hill above town, and those who walk in do not walk back out.
We are going to trace the exact chain of events leading to Petra's disappearance, review the townsfolk you encountered, and basically report exactly what happened.
But we need to establish a very strict ground rule for this deep dive first.
Oh, right, the rule.
We are dealing with raw facts today. We are going to report exactly what was seen and heard, and we are preserving the unresolved mysteries exactly as they stand.
So no speculation.
None. No speculation on what the mysteries mean, no theorizing about the end game. We are just examining the mechanics of how this trap was sprung, starting with the setting itself.
Okay, let's unpack this setting because the atmosphere is pulling like a lot of psychological weight here.
Definitely.
It's cold, it's wet, it is undeniably gothic. But then you step out of the pouring rain and into a festival.
Which is jarring.
It is. Usually a festival signifies safety. You hear the music, you see the glowing lanterns, and the human brain just instinctively categorizes it as a haven.
Well, it's an ingrained survival response. Firelight equals safety. The monsters are supposed to stay in the dark.
Right.
And that ingrained response encourages you to drop your guard. When we are surrounded by people engaging in commerce and celebration, we inherently believe we are secure.
But that's the illusion. Daggerford during High Harvest Tide functions mechanically to lower your defenses.
Exactly.
It's like standing in a warm, brightly lit room, and if you look close enough, you can just start to see the shadows stretching out from the corners.
That's a great way to put it.
Before the jaws of this trap actually closed on you, there was a vibrant town full of people. So let's examine who you interacted with.
Because the contrast between the life in this town and the horror on the hill is staggering.
It really is. The town is teeming with these vivid characters. You have Widow Ashka Morn, an herbalist playing the flute in the town square,
While her young daughter, Petra, dances barefoot in the rain.
Yeah, just a really sweet scene. And then you have Sister Marin, the blunt but warm innkeeper, dancing under her awning.
There's Derval the blacksmith, too.
Right, and Bram the dollmaker, he carves wooden toys and apparently changes his deity week to week.
He does, yeah. But then the shadows start to show, like you said.
Yeah, you have Dulius, this drunk mourning children he lost in a barn fire 3 years ago.
And Toby.
Oh man, Toby. Toby the stablemaster, grieving his wife, who literally has 32 burnt tally marks physically cut into his stable wall.
What is fascinating here is the structural design of these encounters. Your individual personal goals immediately intersected with these specific locals.
Walk me through that. How did the quests line up exactly?
Well, you all arrived in Daggerford with distinct purposes, right? And the town provided answers, but those answers all subtly pointed back to the darkness on the hill.
Okay, take Balasar, for example.
Right. Balasar goes to Sister Marin to ask about his missing dragon-born kin Krug and Lord Cessar.
And Marin remembers them filling her in months back.
She does, but she notes that they asked about the house on the hill and then headed north because the house wasn't there at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay, and then you have Duroc, tracking the arsonist who burned down his monastery.
The thin, white-haired man in the greatcoat with a constant smile.
Right, that guy.
So Dulius points Duroc to Toby, and Toby confirms that the smiling arsonist went up to that very house on the hill to look for riches in its cellars.
And simply vanished.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Beowolfe leaves his broken glaive with Derval for repairs and arranges a morning meeting with Ashka.
This was to address his severe sleep deprivation.
Right. It's causing nightmares and physical pain. So the town basically acts as a nexus for all your disparate paths.
But wait, I have to challenge this idea that the town is just a subtle misdirection or a nexus.
How so?
Is it really misdirection, or is the town actually complicit in a way? Because if I look at Julius and Toby, they seem entirely resigned to this thing on the hill.
That's true.
It feels less like the town is tricking you, and more like you are witnessing a massive collective trauma response.
That is an incredibly sharp observation. It's not active deception, right? It's passive acceptance of a local nightmare.
Yeah.
The townsfolk are treating this looming threat almost as a tragic fact of gravity, just a part of their landscape.
But for you, the party, you are looking at the horizon. You're hunting for arsonists, searching for missing fathers, seeking cures for nightmares.
You are completely focused on your long-term errands, entirely unaware that the ground is giving way right beneath your feet.
Which brings us to the main event. How do these seemingly innocent transactional festival interactions trigger a disaster?
It's all connected.
Let's trace the exact sequence of events that led to Petra going missing, because it is heartbreakingly mundane.
The catalyst is rooted in a moment of genuine, spontaneous warmth.
Right.
Lucy approached Ashka to ask about waking a sleeper, which she learned would take powerful magic, and about a tall, black-haired woman she's hunting.
But after that business is concluded, Lucy shifts gears. She pulls out her lute and joins Ashka's music.
Yeah, they play together in the rain, and Petra spins around them.
And here's the exact moment the trap is set. During that joyous performance, Lucy buys Petra a gift.
She buys a hand-carved wooden violinist from Bram the dollmaker.
Petra is delighted, and she runs off to plan a thank you gift in return. It's such a pure, sweet reaction from a child.
It is, but psychologically, this is a fisherman using a shiny lure.
Oh, that's dark.
Lucy thought she was just giving a gift, but the narrative used that exact emotional connection as the hook to reel the entire party in.
Because hours later, the warmth of the festival is completely shattered. Ashka pounds on Lucy's door in an absolute panic.
Petra is gone.
She isn't at Bram, she isn't in the stables. Ashka is certain that Petra climbed the hill to the infamous house to fetch a present from its rumored riches to give to Lucy.
It's devastating.
A simple act of kindness unintentionally sets off a terrifying chain reaction, purely because of a child's innocent desire to reciprocate.
So the personal quests just fade into the background.
They have to. The party minus Kadba, who hasn't arrived in town yet, immediately heads to the hill with Lucy.
And you talk Ashka into turning back to get shoes and find help, ensuring that you face the house alone.
The physical transition here is stark. You leave the warm, brightly lit town behind and ascend into the dark, cold rain.
And when you finally see the exterior of the house, it immediately subverts expectations.
Yeah, because every single window in the house is lit up. A figure watches you from an upper floor, then steps back into the dark.
It's not an abandoned ruin. It is occupied, and it is waiting for you.
And before you even reach the door, the reality of the situation hits you.
The party efficiently put down a group of shambling corpses that emerged from the weeds between them.
Just like that. And the aftermath of that fight provides some very cold, very hard facts.
Yeah, Beowolfe inspected the bodies and judged that they were freshly clawed out of their own graves, indicating a necromancer is somewhere close.
Meanwhile, Remi casually searched the corpses and harvested their intact organs.
Which is pretty intense.
But stop and consider the psychological whiplash here. Just a couple of hours ago, you were playing lutes in the rain, buying wooden toys, and talking to a blacksmith about fixing a glaive.
Right.
Now, you're standing in the freezing mud, harvesting organs from fresh zombies outside a haunted house.
It violently severs you from the safety of the town. The mundane world of the festival and the grim reality of the house exist side by side.
Separated only by a short walk up a hill.
The town was the bait, and now you were standing at the threshold of the jaws.
But the threat outside was just the welcoming committee. The real danger lay inside the walls.
Remi, on his very first time out of his village, kicks the inner lock, and Balasar leads the group inside.
And the ground floor is just a masterclass in cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance is the core mechanic of psychological horror here.
Yeah.
The house presents you with facts that fundamentally contradict each other, which short-circuits the brain's ability to understand reality.
For example, you find a dining room with a steaming dinner prepared for 8 people, but every single chair is untouched.
And the pantry.
Right. You find fresh produce sitting right next to stores that are entirely rotted.
In a closet, there are exactly 8 fine coats, perfectly clean.
It's as if time is broken, or the house is just clumsily mocking the idea of a normal home.
And then there are the visual anomalies. There is a portrait of Gustav and Elizabeth Durst and their children.
As a pure statement of fact, this painting forcibly pulls Beowulf's eye toward it. It commands attention.
There is also a painting of a windmill that turns, but only when it is unobserved.
So creepy.
And inside a dumbwaiter, you find old bones that are scarred by an infant's new teeth.
See, I know my brain immediately wants to scream, what does the windmill mean? Whose bones are those? Why is a baby chewing on them?
I know, it's tempting.
But as we established at the top of the show, we are not theorizing. We are strictly reporting that these impossible things exist on the ground floor.
The restraint is crucial, because the house itself doesn't offer explanations. It only offers escalation.
Yeah, it really does.
When Duroc opens the door to the main hall, writing in blood rises on the wall, warning of a beast beneath the house.
And immediately after that warning appears, the front door swings shut and locks you inside.
The click of a lock is such a universal sound of finality.
The trap is officially sprung. You are locked in, and there's no sign of Petra anywhere in the main halls or the pantry.
Which leads you to the last door on the ground floor.
The den. It's dusty, contrasting with the untouched dinner elsewhere.
It features an owlbear's head mounted on the wall, 3 stuffed wolves, and, sitting conspicuously on a shelf, the exact wooden violinist toy that Lucy had bought for Petra earlier that evening.
The exact same toy. Duroc reaches for this symbol of innocence, the very lure that brought Petra and subsequently the party to this place.
And the room instantly, violently rejects the attempt to find the child.
It really does.
When Duroc picked up the wooden toy, the stuffed wolves animated and attacked, but the party destroyed them with weapons and a chromatic orb before Lucy healed Duroc's wounds.
And that is exactly where the session closes, on this incredibly tense, completely unresolved note.
Yeah, the den hasn't been fully searched. Petra is still missing.
And that front door remains locked.
It leaves a significant amount of factual threads hanging. Let's review what we know for certain.
Okay, lay it out.
A necromancer is nearby, given the fresh graves outside. A figure was seen on an upper floor, meaning someone or something is above you.
And a blood warning explicitly states a beast is beneath the house.
Plus, the intersection of your quests. Duroc's arsonist went into this exact house looking for cellars and never came out.
Balasar's kin went north specifically when the house wasn't there.
Beowulf's broken glaive is still sitting on Dervahl's bench down in the town.
And Beowulf still has a morning meeting scheduled with Ashka to deal with his sleep deprivation.
Assuming there's a morning to wake up to, the sanctuary of the festival is gone.
Yeah, it is.
The rules of reality have been suspended. You are inside the mechanism of the trap now.
Assuming there is a morning. That really gets to the heart of it. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final factual detail from your sources.
Oh, this part is heavy.
It is. It's something to mull over as you prepare to pick up the dice for the next session.
It's a detail that grounds all of this supernatural horror in very real, very human suffering.
Think back to the rain-soaked town before you walked up that hill, before the lock clicked shut.
Right.
Think back to Toby, the stablemaster, kneeling in the mud. He explained that the 32 burnt tally marks physically cut into his stable wall counted the exact number of days since his wife died of an incurable sickness.
But she didn't just get sick.
No, she didn't. She died after escaping this very house with her lips sewn shut.
So bleak.
What exactly happened to her inside those walls to leave her in such a state?